Hi children, how are you guys doing? So by now you must have understood how the simple lever as a simple machine works, right? We've also seen some numericals around it. So today we will discuss about pulley as a simple machine, okay? That's the objective of our class. So what is a pulley? Pulley is nothing but a circular wheel, okay? And it's not simply a wheel, you make a small groove on the surface of the wheel so that when you throw a rope, the rope doesn't slip and fall off, okay? So you have a wheel and you are throwing a rope around it. And then we need to fix it somewhere. So we have a housing. So housing is nothing but a simple rectangular frame inside which you put the wheel and then you fix the frame onto the ceiling. So our single pulley, fixed pulley is fastened now. What do we do with this? We will connect the load on one end of this, so we'll call the load rope, and then through the second end we are going to apply the force, okay? So that's the way we can make a simple single fixed pulley work. So what is the benefit of this single fixed pulley? The benefit is, see, if you go to villages and you see how they draw water from the well, right? So if the pulley is not there, then we'll have to actually bend down and catch the rope and pull the rope, right? So that is a very inconvenient way of doing the work. So our back will hurt and shoulders will pain and all that. Whereas if you use a pulley, the rope is coming over the pulley, you can stand erect and you can apply the force, okay? So we had already discussed simple machine means it should make us do the work easily, okay? So in this single fixed pulley, it is helping us do the work easily because we can stand erect and we can apply the force in a comfortable direction, okay? That's the benefit of a single fixed pulley. Now we'll have to see if the pulley is offering us any mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage means I have to lift 10 newtons of load. Can I apply a load less than 10? Can I do 5 and manage to lift the load? That's what we have to examine. So for the purpose of this, what we do, we draw what are called free body diagrams, right? So the first free body diagram that we'll draw is we will look at the load and then we look at that load rope. Okay, there are two ropes for us, the load rope and the effort rope, right? So you look at the load rope and you see that load is acting on one side, there is a tension acting on the rope, and let's assume that the load rope is fixed to the ceiling just for the purpose of understanding, right? So if you look at and analyze the forces, the load L is equal to tension T. Okay, that part is done. Now what you do, you remove the rope, you put it through the pulley, and then you see that end of it you are actually pulling it. So that is called the effort rope. So if you analyze the forces on the effort rope, the tension is the same in the rope and E, the effort that you put, is equal to T. Okay, so you have two equations, L is equal to T and E is equal to T. Okay. Now if you come to mechanical advantage, what is it? Mechanical advantage is nothing but load divided by effort, right? So load is nothing but T and effort is nothing but T. So you get T by T is equal to 1. Mechanical advantage is 1. Mechanical advantage is equal to 1 means there is no benefit, force multiplying effect that we get out of a single fixed pulley. The only benefit is it makes the way we are applying the force, the effort easy. That's the benefit of a single fixed pulley. So we have understood what the single fixed pulley is. Now we are a little greedy. We know the pulley is good and all that, and effort is, we are applying the effort in a nice direction, comfortable direction, but we need some force benefit also. We need mechanical advantage to be greater than 1. How do we do it? Okay, we have come up with a simple mechanism. So instead of making the pulley fixed, let's make the pulley movable. How do we do that? Take the pulley, reverse it, keep it down, pass the rope through that, right? Fix the rope on to the ceiling, and on the other end of the rope you try to hold the rope, okay? So if you see now there are two ends which are balancing the load. The load is put on the movable pulley, okay? So you have the load on one side, you have two ropes that are holding the load. So if T is the tension in each of the ropes, here 2 times tension is equal to load, or we can get that tension is equal to load divided by 2. How do we understand that that weight is, the load is being balanced by both the ropes? Imagine a person is falling off a cliff. Okay, this is a person falling off a cliff, and you are two people are there and holding the hand of the person. One person is holding one hand, another person is holding another hand. So if the guy who is dangling in the cliff is like 100 Newton, then you can say that in one person's hand 50 Newton load is being held, and in the other, the second person also is holding a load of 50 Newton. So each load bearing arm is like one rope. So two ropes are there. Two ropes is going to balance the load. I hope this example makes it clear as to how the ropes are sharing the load. So now that we have understood each arm of the rope is taking half of the load, then we can calculate the mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage is going to be load divided by effort. Here this effort is going to be load divided by 2. So L divided by L by 2 will give you a mechanical advantage of 2. So in a single movable pulley, we are having the mechanical advantage. We will have to apply lesser effort for lifting a heavier load. I hope this is clear. So now we have found out a way using a movable pulley how we can gain mechanical advantage. But if you remember, in a movable pulley, the effort has to be still applied in the upward direction, pull. We discussed that it's not comfortable. So how do we get the best of both the worlds? We want mechanical advantage and we also want the effort to be applied in a convenient way. What we'll do, we'll mix both the pulleys, okay? So let's take a single movable pulley, put the load, take the rope here, and now pass the rope through a single fixed pulley, right? What does a single fixed pulley do? The single fixed pulley changes the direction of the effort so that it makes it easier for us to apply the effort. So by combining a movable pulley and a single fixed pulley, we get the best of both the worlds. Effort is applied in an easy direction, and the movable pulley ensures that we have a mechanical advantage of 2. So this combination will help us have the best of both the worlds. So far we have seen about fixed pulley and a movable pulley, and we've also seen the mechanical advantage in each of them. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about block and tackle system. Okay, it's a new method of arranging the pulleys in a block and tackle system, and what we are going to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of that. So here you have the normal system where we are talking about a case of 4 pulleys, 2 fixed pulleys and 2 movable pulleys, and the fixed pulleys are attached to the top frame and the 2 movable pulleys are attached to the bottom frame. And we see that the way we have tied the rope is tied to the top frame and then passed on to the movable pulley, and then through the fixed pulleys finally it is taken out. And of course the load is balanced in the bottom frame. So this is the conventional way of arranging with in a 4 pulley system. Now if you look at the block and tackle system, it comprises of 2 blocks. One is called the top block and the other one is called the bottom block. Okay, so within the block we are putting 2 pulleys together. In the top block we are calling it as fixed pulleys, and within the bottom block we are going to put the 2 movable pulleys together. Okay, then how do we tie the rope? We take the rope and tie it onto the frame of the top block and then pass it around to the movable pulley and then fixed pulley and continue and get the rope out. Okay, so this method of housing multiple pulleys within the blocks is what is called the block and tackle system. And in fact there is one more thing that you need to know, is the mechanism of tying the rope. Passing the rope through the pulleys is what we are calling it as reeving. Okay, so the advantage of having this block and tackle system is that it is compact, right, and it is easy for us to manufacture. The cost wise it is going to be easy. These are the advantages of having the block and tackle system. So we have to discuss about how exactly the reeving is done, okay, or how to tie the ropes. So let's take the example of a single pulley, fixed pulley and movable pulley, and very carefully study how the ropes have to be passed on between the pulleys, okay. So in the block and tackle system, what is it we observe? The top frame has a hook, the bottom frame also has a hook attached to it. So in this case, we are tying the rope to the bottom frame and then passing it around to the movable pulley, then over to the fixed pulley and getting it out. Okay, so this is how we are going to do the reeving in the case of this single fixed and single movable pulley. And the one other thing we need to discuss here is the thing about mechanical advantage. Okay, so there is a very simple trick for us to identify the mechanical advantage of block and tackle systems. Here we have to simply count the number of the supporting rope segments. Okay, so if you see here, there are totally 3 rope segments. You exclude the final rope segment where you're going to put the effort, okay, because that rope is only used to change the direction of the pull. So there are 2 rope segments which are there, which are going to bear the load L. Okay, that means each rope segment is going to bear L by 2. Okay, therefore the mechanical advantage of the system will be load divided by L by 2, which is 2. So the shortcut is, as many rope segments you are having which are supporting the load, the mechanical advantage will be 2. I hope you understood this. So now that we know how to do the reeving in the case of 2 pulleys, let's now look at a system of 3 pulleys and 5 pulleys, which are odd number of pulleys, because the mechanism of reeving is the same. Okay, so here we are having first 3 pulleys rigged together. So whenever odd number of pulleys are there, we should always have the fixed pulley one more than the movable pulley. So here 1 movable pulley and 2 fixed pulleys will be present. How do we do the reeving? We connect the bottom block, the hook in the bottom block, and rope it around the lower fixed pulley. So that is how the reeving has to start, and then over to the movable pulley, fixed pulley, and so on. Okay, so there's a difference between the way we do the reeving for the odd number of pulleys and even number of pulleys. You have to make a note of that. Okay, and look at the number of supporting threads here. We see that there are totally 4 supporting threads. We leave alone the final one, which is used to apply the effort. There are 3 supporting threads that bear the load. Therefore, the mechanical advantage, as per our previous discussion, is going to be 3. So we are continuing with odd number of pulleys. Now we have 5 pulleys. Okay. So what did we discuss? In the case of an odd number of pulleys, we are having to have 1 more than the bottom. So we have 2 movable pulleys and 3 fixed pulleys. Odd pulleys. So the reeving will start from the bottom frame, and it is going to be hook in the bottom frame will be the starting point of the rope, and then we are going to pass it around the bottom pulley which is there in the top frame. Then we continue. Okay. So if you look at the total number of supporting threads here, we have 5 supporting threads, which gives us a mechanical advantage of 5. So we are almost done. We just have to see how the reeving is done in the case of even number of pulleys. Okay. So in the case of even number of pulleys, no headache, no tension. As many number of fixed pulleys are there, so many number of movable pulleys will be there in the top and the bottom. And for all even numbered pulleys, the rope always starts from the hook which is attached to the top frame. So from the top frame, reeve it around the movable pulley and then continue and get it out. So if you see here, how many supporting threads are there? We see that there are 4 supporting threads. Therefore, in this case, we will have a mechanical advantage of 4. Likewise, when you look at the 6 pulley system, 3 on top, 3 at the bottom, once again the rope is tied to the hook at the bottom of the top block and passed on to the movable pulley. We complete the reeving and we see that there are 6 supporting threads, and the mechanical advantage of this system is obviously going to be 6. Remember, we discussed about mechanical advantage in terms of velocity ratio earlier. We said that mechanical advantage is nothing but the velocity ratio. What is velocity ratio? velocity ratio is nothing but the velocity of the effort and divided by the velocity of the load end. Okay. Why this is important is in the context of pulleys, you don't have the effort arm and the load arm. Okay. Here we have the rope end, the end of the rope or the effort, which is moving at a certain velocity. So we can calculate that. Similarly, we have the load which is going to raise up with a certain velocity. So if we are given the velocity ratio, we can say mechanical advantage in the case of pulleys is equal to the velocity ratio. Sometimes the block and tackle system or the pulley system may not be 100% efficient. Okay, so if you are given an efficiency of, let's say 80% or 0.8, then mechanical advantage will be 0.8 efficiency multiplied by the velocity ratio. So in this way you can calculate the mechanical advantage if the velocity ratio of the system is given. I hope you have understood this. Hi guys, hope you are having fun watching all these videos and learning important stuff. We are taking a lot of pains to make these videos especially for you. Be sure to give us a like and share it with your family and friends. They will also benefit from the effort that we are putting in. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And we give important updates in our website www.cogitarelearning.com. So please visit and support us.